Well, there is nothing magic in this agreement. As I just said, it's all about the awareness within the U.S. administration, the awareness on the conflicts that exists for about 30 years and which has caused millions of victims. So, just like any other initiative, it consists of ending the war and achieving the unconditional withdrawal of all the armed groups and all. In addition to that, we also have to come to a solution to this war, which is basically an economic war. And just to give you background, I just said it. This is something I've tried to do when I took office in 2019. I went and paid visit to neighboring countries. And back then, there was Rwanda and Uganda and Burundi that were the most concerned, because back then, Burundi also joined Uganda and Rwanda against the DRC in order to suggest this deal between us and see how we could be able to move towards a cooperation based upon economic exchanges instead of fighting, having these tensions, useless tensions that would have consequences on the stability of the region. Unfortunately, in 2022, Rwanda went on war against us, and Uganda understood that we are now building good relationship with President Museveni, and Burundi, thanks to President Ndayishimiye, they have also considerably improved their relation with the DRC. They are now a sister country. Now we hope that with the mediation of the U.S. administration, this peace will come true.
Why do you think President Trump is so interesting to bring peace to DRC? Why he's working so hard to bring peace to DRC, in your point of view?
First and foremost, because he announced it. And then, President Trump represents the first world power. The U.S. are actually the leaders, and everybody knows the influence of the U.S. I was talking about the international community, and I believe that the United States has some responsibility in what's happened in the region. This might not be to mean that they are guilty, but they have the responsibility, which is that they trusted a regime, Rwandan regime, that was involved in the genocide, and as they were trying to correct the mistakes they made, they even caused other mistakes and other crises in the DRC. And I think this awareness from the U.S. administration would change the tide.
Pour la première fois depuis longtemps, les priorités congolaises sont au cœur d'un accord international majeur. La diplomatie congolaise montre qu'elle peut défendre avec fermeté ses intérêts tout en tendant la main au dialogue et à la paix. Conclusion, une opportunité historique à transformer. La RDC aborde ce moment avec lucidité, mais aussi avec ambition. L'accord de Washington ne résout pas tout, mais il offre une plateforme nouvelle sur laquelle Kinshasa peut construire une paix réelle, durable et souveraine. Pour les millions de Congolais affectés par le conflit, c'est une lueur d'espoir. Et pour l'État congolais, une opportunité de tourner la page de décennies d'ingérence et de déstabilisation.
Quand est-ce qu'elle interviendra? Ça, c'est Dieu seul qui sait.
When will we achieve peace? God alone knows.
Un mérite ici que je reconnais au président.
I owe something to President Trump. I acknowledge that he really considered this issue personally, and we really owe acknowledgement for this. appointed a very ineffective team led by Dr. Massad Boulos. They are working with, in collaboration with our friends from Qatari, and also with the presence of the African Union, led by President Faure Gnassingbé. Well, this is something that's progressing very well, and now we are at the point of the principal agreement. A set of principles have been selected for the agreement, and if everything goes well, by the end of next week, both of our foreign ministers from Congo and Rwanda would meet in the United States to sign more than a principal agreement, and then we will come to endorse around President Trump in the United States. But I don't know when that will take place. It will depend upon both the progress of the events on the ground, but also it will depend on the U.S. agenda. As we know that the U.S. are involved in so many issues. You talked about the Middle East, and you talked about the war between Russia and Ukraine, and we also have the conflict between Iran and the DRC. So it will depend on those, but I think this might take place around mid-July. But then after that, I believe if they manage to achieve this, to end an unjust conflict that has caused thousands and hundreds of thousands of dead. And some people would say that this war has caused more dead than the Second World War. And I think if President Trump, thanks to his mediation, managed to definitely end this war, he would really deserve this Nobel Prize. I would go the first to vote for him.
And Mr. President, as we know, the narrative about the Democratic Republic of the Congo around the world is not good. Many people see this country as a very corrupted country and with problems with bad governance. When this peace deal is finally reached, are you planning to lead a very deep work combating corruption in this country?